K Black here with a quick video. Hope everybody enjoying their Sunday, man. Let's get right into it. The aftermath of Charlo versus Harrison. I was wrong. I picked Harrison to win the fight. I thought he was going to outbox him, but I did state. I said that Harrison would win by outboxing, get a unanimous decision, and Charlo would win by knockout, and it did happen. But I picked Harrison, so I got that wrong. But I also said I'm glad I was rooting for or wanting Charlo to win. I just thought Harrison was just going to be able to overcome him. And before I get there, though, the undercard was nice too, man. In my opinion, Saturday night boxing card was good, man. The guy named is Garon. He knocked out Badaris. That was a good fight. I think he knocked him down early in the fight. I'm surprised the referee let it continue, because when he told him to move forward, when he told Badaris to move forward, he kind of like stumbled backwards, but the referee let it continue. He also got up like 9 when he's almost at 10. And I think in the 5th round, he knocked him down again with the same left hook. And he tried to wait to the last second, but this particular time the referee waited the fight off. So the guy, Garon, beat Badaris. And then we had the heavyweight fight, which is a good fight, man. I've seen it do in Jabba before. I believe that's how his last name is pronounced. I don't know the guy that he fought. I never seen that particular guy. But it was a good fight. They went back and forth. And Jabba knocked the guy down. Then the guy got back up. Was able to knock Jabba down. And then eventually Jabba, knocked the guy down again. And the dude was a formidable opponent. He got back up. And eventually his corner threw in the white flag, man. Waved in the white flag, threw in the towel, man. But it was a good fight. But let's get right into it with the main event. Tony Harrison was knocked down early, but he was composed. He was poised. He was able to get back up, go back to the game plan, and he put some rounds in the bank, in my opinion. And Charlo was doing his too as well. Harrison, in my opinion, fought. He fought, instead of being on the back foot and kind of like boxing more. I'm not saying he was still boxing, and he was blocking a lot of those shots. But I think he should have been on the back foot a little bit more. But he was in the pocket with Charlo. He did say he was going to come forward more, and he was right there in the pocket. So, which made for a good fight. Both guys, took their lumps and bruises. But when you're fighting a guy like Charlo, who is a person, when he gets you hurt, he gonna take you out, and that's what's gonna happen. In the 11th round, he hit Harrison with a good shot, and Harrison was blocking even before then. Early in the 11th round, right? Charlo threw a bunch of punches, and Harrison did block all of them, a majority of them. And he was in the corner, and he basically, Harrison, showboated, put both hands, just as to say, put both hands up as to say, like, come on, man, really? He didn't touch me, you know what I mean? Because the crowd was kind of cheering. But, that, in my opinion, that showboat, and I was saying, like, he went with the dances and all that. I said, showboat after you win the fight, man. This is the biggest fight of your career. Even though you beat him the first go-round, celebrate once you finish. But he didn't do that. He ended up getting caught with a real good left hook. It went behind the guard, caught him in the chin, knocked him down. He was unable to recover. And Charlo, like the lion that he is, he jumped on him, man. He jumped on him, and he was able to knock him down again. And the referee decided to stop the fight. Jack Reese, of all people. Jack Reese, as I call him, Jack, helped Tyson Fury up from getting knocked out by Deontay Wilder Reese. I know that's a long name, but, he can see a fighter. Jack Reese is the type of guy who will see a fighter completely knocked out cold. And somehow, in some form of fashion, he'll let that fighter continue. But a guy who's standing up, you're not going to let him continue. But be that as it may, man, it was a good boxing match, man. I'm glad that Charlo was able to regain his championship. And I know that, he got good things ahead of him, man. let's talk about before I finish up talking about Charlo. Let's talk about the interview for a second with Errol Spence. Now, there was the first interview with Errol Spence. We already know what happened with Errol Spence and the accident and everything, right? And I know watching it, I knew some people weren't gonna like the interview. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna just be real with you, man. That's Errol Spence's fault because he could have interviewed with anybody. He could have sat down and interviewed with an interviewer of his choice, cleared the air, talk about what he wanted to talk about, and not talk about what he didn't want to talk about. That could have happened. But he didn't do that. He interviewed with Brian Kenny. You already know the type of individual what Brian Kenny is, right? If y'all remember, he had an interview with Floyd Mayweather some years back, and you see how that turned out. So you already know the type of mindset and the type of agenda that Brian Kenny is going to push, right? So this is how it is, man. But I'm gonna be, I'm going to limb here as well, man. I like Errol Spence, man. I'm glad that he recovered. And he's talking about maybe fighting in May or June. He's like, he don't want no tournaments or none of that, man. So I give props to Errol Spence, recovering and saying that he's A-okay. But you know how some people, when you like a certain fighter, nobody like you talk about that particular fighter. You know what I mean? But it's gotta, I just gotta be real though. If you fight, you're in the public eye, so nobody can be hands off. If I talk bad about this particular fighter, I gotta do it all the fights the same way. I can't just pick and choose no more, man. But I'm gonna just say, I'm gonna be honest, man, because nobody want to talk about the accident or what led up to the accident, possibly. Because even Errol Spencer want to talk about it because he said, he was advised by his attorney not to talk about it, and also, Brian Kenny kept trying to push him to make him talk about it. But the thing is, though, bro. If there was Adrian Broner that did what he did, man, people would have, Adrian Broner would have been ridiculed. Shit, we talk bad about him for less. He'd have been, Adrian Broner, you an idiot. You dumb. You're not going to realize till it's too late. You're going to end up in jail or dead. Some shit like that. That's what would have happened, man. AB, about beer, about Budweiser, about beverages. All that shit would have been said. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest, man. But one thing I am going to say, too, they mentioned Terrence Crawford. They mentioned Terrence Crawford's name. Now, normally in the PBC, especially on the PBC side, they don't mention Terrence Crawford's name at all. They act as if the WBO belt is oblivious, like it don't count. They put up all the champions, right? And they leave Terrence Crawford out. They wouldn't even mention him. They wouldn't even say his name. Like he don't even exist. And ESPN don't mind saying those PBC fighters' names, though. You know what I mean? And everybody's cool with it. But people is cool without them saying Crawford. Like, wait, Crawford on the other side of the street. It's his fault. He signed with that particular promotion. People like they good with it. Like it's cool. Acting as if Terrence Crawford not there. Like, he should have been. He need to come on this side of the street. Why give him free promotion? He don't fight for this particular company. So they said, but last night they said Terrence Crawford's name. You know what I mean? And presented it to him, even made him basically say his name. But I'm here to tell you why, man. I'm here to tell you why. Is every fighter have a small window of opportunity. And when they think that you fucking up, or see that, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, they go on to the next best thing. It's sad. That's how it is, man. But anyway, Jermell Charlo, he's regained his WBC title in a rematch. I'm glad that he got the knockout, man, of Tony Harrison. And what is he going to do next, man? They mentioned J-Rock, Is he going to fight him next? I know he said, in an interview that Charles is known for making history, but he also stated, you know what I mean? Because basically saying, hey, for making history, as if say, yeah, I'll take on that challenge. But also he kind of backslid and said, but I just want to chill with my family and, chill out for the holidays and stuff like that. When that type of talk start happening, we know what happened. But J-Rock, he gonna be in the background looking over in the shadows, looking over his shoulder. It's K Black.